When music speaks, our emotions listen. What characteristics of music provide the power to heal? Every sound or vibration has a physical impact in our bodies. Find out how certain types of music can improve the healing process. Learn from the creator of the first recording studio in a children's cancer ward. Next on Living Smart. Hello, I'm Patricia Ross. Welcome to Living Smart, the show designed to help you get the most out of life. Composer, recording artist, and classically trained pianist, Anita Kruse transforms the lives of children every day at Texas Children's Hospital. She founded Purple Songs Can Fly, a nonprofit dedicated to providing a creative musical outlet for children at the Cancer Center. Hers is the first recording studio ever created on a pediatric cancer floor. She works with children to write and record their own songs, and they have responded by writing and recording over 275 songs enjoyed around the globe. She's been featured in every national network for her work, and her biggest fans are the children who've discovered their hidden and healing talent. Today we talk to her about the healing power of music. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Patty.
How did the idea of Purple Songs Can Fly come to you, and the idea to bring it to a cancer ward?
Well, I was a visiting artist in the Cancer Center at Texas Children's Hospital, and I was doing concerts in the infusion area with a friend, Jennifer Keeney, a wonderful flutist, and we would play, you know, every few months we'd do concerts, and I got to know about the Arts and Medicine program there. It's an amazing Arts and Medicine program, and they have all kinds of visual art and creative writing and one-on-one art with the kids, but they didn't have a musical one-on-one component. They had all kinds of performances that came into the Cancer Center. So I had been working with children for many years, writing their own songs, and I was at my own little Purple studio, and this idea of kind of recreating my studio there in the Cancer Center just came to my mind.
And why do you think a recording studio? Because you could make kids perform, but a recording studio stays forever.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought that it would be. It had been great to see kids writing songs, and in my own teaching through the years. So, and I always was interested in how children created their own music, and this idea of doing it with children who are ill just seemed to be the perfect thing to do in that setting.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have any obstacles while you were trying to do this?
Well, it took about a year from the time I had the idea to figuring out how we'd create this program. There wasn't a space, so we created a portable studio, and we took it inpatient. And then once I think the hospital could see that this was valuable to the children, valuable to the families, we figured out how to create a space there.
How did it work? I mean, how does it work? How do you do it? Because it's not just the children who are going through the cancer treatment, it's also their families and brothers and sisters, friends, right?
Yes. The Arts and Medicine program is open to children who are being treated and also siblings. There have been parents who've come in and sung background vocals and things like that. But it's mainly the children and siblings. Some friends have come too. But we usually work with the children to write their words first and create a lyric, and then move it into, if they hear a melody, they might already hear a melody once we get words. They might hear a melody once we play some chords underneath them. It's always a little different, but we start with the words, and it's their words.
It's amazing. I've heard some of the songs, and they're really amazing. How have you seen the children, how does this help the children heal? Because you work with these kids every day, and you see them coming back to the studio, maybe fixing their songs, or you see their faces light up when they finish a song. How do you think this heals them, helps them heal?
Well, I mean, what I know is that the process of being creative is in general very joyful, and so anything that we can do with the children to bring them joy in this particular situation is helpful. Now, do we know if it's healing them, well, I believe that there is an aspect that is healing them or helping them to deal with what they're going through.
Well, what they say is that healing comes through music, through the lifting of vibrations. And you told me that you had learned a lot about frequencies and vibrations in your time in Japan. Share with me what you learned in Japan.
Well, I was visiting in Japan actually talking about Purple Songs Can Fly, and I was in a city called Tamana City, and it's a place where they're interested in healing arts and just the idea of healing. And they took me to a temple, a Buddhist temple. It was on the top of a hill, and I met the priest there, and he told me that this was the home of the largest bell in the world, and that I was going to be bringing this bell. And I learned about the symbology of bells in Buddhist tradition, and there were 3 strikes of the bell. So the first strike was the clearing away of anything that might be in your way in your past lives.
Okay.
The second ring was the clearing away of anything in your present life. And the third strike was the clearing away of anything in your future. And I really wasn't prepared for the vibration, for what I experienced on the first strike of the bell. Once I had experienced the first strike, the other 2, I was kind of ready. But the first strike was so deep. It had, you know, just sort of this range of frequencies that hit my body. And I was so amazed by this experience that I started thinking about sort of this ancient traditions of using sound.
Right.
And we actually did a concert about a month ago about bells and spiritual traditions and sort of the significance of bells. And the bell really is a sound, the use of bells is to create the sound of creation, sort of like the original sound.
Wow.
So I just feel like there are things that happen when sound is beautiful or resonates with you or your, you know, inner world that is very healing.
Yeah, it apparently it has to do with bringing the body and the cells into coherence. And you intuitively, I think, did this as you were teaching kids to write songs. They're healing within because of the vibrations. What was the first experience like, the first song that you created in Purple Songs Can Fly, if you can remember that?
I do, I remember it, because I just saw the little girl about a month ago. I had created this little portable studio that we wheeled into the inpatient room, and so I hadn't done this with an ill child yet. This was the first time, so I was kind of, you know, wanting to get all the equipment and everything set up, and walked into the room, and Carol Heron, who's the director of the Arts and Medicine program, introduced me to the little girl, and her mother and father were in the room. And I walked in, and the mother looked at me and said, "You've been sent by God." And I was like, whoa. Wow. And then the little girl's name was Simran, and her father told me that her name meant remembering God.
Wow.
And this little girl was very, very ill, and I actually didn't know if she was well enough to write a song, because I knew it would take maybe an hour. So she had just written a poem that was her name. So each letter of her name had a line of the poem. And so I just had her speak her poem into the microphone and then put music underneath it. But the first line of the poem is "Some bird soaring," and it was all about flight. And it's one of the most beautiful songs we've done. I mean, you wouldn't consider it a song because she didn't sing, but it's her words and it's her voice. So that was the first one.
Is she still alive?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, what the scientists say is that the voice is the most powerful instrument to heal. It is not any other instrument, the voice.
Yeah.
And what you do in Purple Songs Can Fly, you told me, is you don't care how the voice sounds.
No.
Because we all have that inner voice, and you don't judge whether they're in tune or not in tune.
No.
Why is that important?
I feel like a lot of, well, most of the children who've done songs have never heard their voice recorded, so they don't have a sense of their speaking voice, their singing voice, and what it sounds like to come back at them. but they all have something to say. So I think that's what my job is, to listen to them and find what they have to say and how they want to say it. If they just want to speak it, it's fine. I just want to capture their voice. If they want to sing it, it's fine. If it's in tune, it's fine. If it's not, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just capturing their voice.
How do you think writing songs and music is different from just writing?
Well,
for the kids?
I think when they sing, they feel free. I think singing is, it makes you feel free.
Right. Mm-hmm. What do they tend to write about, these kids?
They've written about so many different things, but I would say if I could, you know, find the one thing that's common, many of them have wanted to write songs for people in their lives. They've wanted to write a thank you song, or something for their mom, or their dad, or their best friend. And I think that's been amazing to me, to see how grateful they are. They're thankful, they're grateful for the people in their lives who've helped them get through this.
And what's amazing, what you've told me, is that it's not only uplifting the child who sings, but it starts to uplift the whole family. Mm-hmm. So the musical vibration is just impacting the whole family. Mm-hmm. There have been songs written about the frustration, the fear, the anger from the cancer treatments.
Mm-hmm. There have been some songs.
Does that help them heal, or does that matter what kind of subject matter they're writing about with regards to the healing process that you've noticed?
You know, I think for me it is just to find what they want to say, what they have to say, whether they access their frustration or their confusion. Or, you know, one little boy wrote a song called "Life Is Sort of Complicated." He was a little boy. And
how old was he? Do you remember?
He was about 7.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think talking about it. I mean, I just somehow expressing what they are going through.
What has been the most inspirational for you through this whole process?
Wow. I think that's it. I think seeing children in such a difficult situation, being grateful, not being angry and sad. They're very resilient. I think that's what's been amazing to me, you know, to know they're, for the most part, facing life-threatening illness and able to see good things in life and joy.
And how has their working with you has influenced your songwriting and your healing too?
I think it's just validated the things that I've felt and felt strongly about for a long time in my own creative process of writing songs. Yeah.
How do you think music connects with your essence? Everybody says, you know, the beautiful thing about music is that it does connect. Everybody has it inside of them. Everybody has a song inside of them. And when you actually can bring it out, you're connecting with your own essence.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that, that sort of, for me, sort of the core of my essence is what I feel in my heart. Mm-hmm. So finding your voice through your heart it's a very immediate access when you are creating music, because that's where you go. You go to your heart to say things you need to say that maybe you haven't been able to say in another way.
Have you noticed, like, when the kids are doing this process, they're discovering something within themselves that they had never noticed before?
I think so. I think so. Or maybe they've thought about it, but there was never a way to express it.
And have you ever been surprised with someone who comes in and you don't think that, you know, they're going to be able to do something great? All the time, right?
Often. There was a little boy who wrote a song all about being giving and appreciating the things that you have in life, and he was so cool. I mean, he was just this cool kind of teenage kid, and it was the last thing I thought he would talk about, but it was all about being giving. So,
Anita, when a lot of these kids pass on, or they transition, how do you deal with that?
I need to talk to people. I need to.
You have to.
Yeah. It's been very difficult. It's been very difficult.
But
some
what
of
a
the
gift you're
children.
giving them, huh?
I feel like all the children that I know of who have written songs and have passed have left a message to the world in their song. So I feel very just honored that I was able to capture their message.
What are some of those important messages that they're leaving? The rest of us here are still here.
Well, one little girl, her message was about her faith. One little girl was, her message was about not giving up and staying strong, having hope, being giving, being thankful for your life, appreciating every moment. I mean, these kids...
What gift they're giving you and the rest of us, right? Do the parents, do you find that the parents want to write songs as well? Do they generally become involved? Do you give them that opportunity? Or is it, I mean, I know the focus needs to be the children, but the family needs to heal too.
There have been parents who've wanted to write songs or sing on their child's song. That's happened. One family wanted to write a song for their daughter who was finishing her chemo. So, I mean, there have been different situations, but in general, it's been the children and their siblings.
Why do you think this type of creativity is necessary for a healthcare environment? I mean, you're the first one to do this. And hopefully we will see more, right? We'll see more of this in all our hospitals. Why is it important to have this sort of creative outlet when you're going through something as serious as childhood cancer?
Yeah. Well, I know, I'm not a music therapist, and I know that music therapists have been doing this in healing settings, you know, for a long time. This is the first time there's been a recording studio, and it's not music therapy based. So the arts and medicine program at Texas Children's is artist based. So everyone that comes in is an artist bringing their particular form of creativity. And I just feel really strongly that that we're all creative, and that if we can find the thing for us that is a way to express whatever we need to express that we haven't been able to express in other ways, if we can find that, whether it's music, whether it's some sort of visual art, whatever it is, writing, that it moves whatever is in our way. So whatever is locked in, creativity can move it to another place, and that is why I feel it's healing.
Right,
That we're always, I mean, we're always in motion.
Right.
But oftentimes we get stuck in our minds on certain things that we can't move. And creativity seems to be the pathway to move it. So,
has this project, Purple Songs Can Fly, led to other projects for you?
for me,
Yeah. Or other projects within the hospital, too.
Well, we do. There have been children from other areas of the hospital who've come to write songs. We also are now working on a portable studio that's much smaller that we can go into other areas of the hospital. It's, in general, Purple Songs is the cancer center, but there have been other projects that have started in other places that are kind of modeled after this.
Right, right. And that led to my next question. There are people who want to copy your program around the country and even around the world. Do you think they'll be more open to sound therapy in healthcare environments thanks to your recording studio?
Well, I hope so. I mean, there are a lot of people doing things, you know, similar things, and I think people are becoming more and more aware that the arts are important in our healing, just in healing the whole person. That medications are one thing. There are other things that we can do to help ourselves heal.
How do you think this has changed your life?
Wow, completely, completely. Yeah, it's completely changed my life.
Do you have certain songs that you think had more impact than others in the children and the healing of the family? And if that's the case, why do you think that was?
There's one particular song that was written early on by a little boy who was diagnosed with leukemia, and his song was called I Can Make It. And his mother had been saying a prayer to him, and so he somehow incorporated this prayer with his lyric and her melody. I mean, this song just was very inspired. And he recorded it in one take and shared it with his family, and then his family shared it with his teachers, and it just became something that they were all proud of, and it helped them. I think it helped him to get through all that he needed to go through, and he's doing well.
When then a child passes on, does the family ever come back to you and thank you?
Yes. I've had a few of them. Mm-hmm.
And your goal, ultimately your goal, you're just in one cancer center right now. What is your goal ultimately? Would you like to create a franchise? And I know this is a nonprofit, but wouldn't it be nice instead of having just a McDonald's franchise, the Purple Songs Can Fly franchise all over the country and all over the world? Why not? Would you like to see that?
What I
is
would
that
like,
a goal for
well,
you?
what I would like to see is more the idea of it being shared with the world. There are a lot of hospitals in the world that Texas Children's is affiliated with, and that's my goal, to have outreaches to different places in the world connected to Texas Children's, and inspire other hospitals to think about the importance of the arts. One of the biggest problems is that there's not enough space. I mean, I'm very, very fortunate that Dr. Poplik, who's the head of the Cancer Center, believes in the importance of the arts and believed in this idea and provided a space. And that's very unusual for a hospital to have the space, first of all, and then dedicate it to something that has never been done like this. So just very, very fortunate. So I feel that one of the things I'd like to do in the next year is create a song with children around the world who have cancer, and create a kind of a group song somehow through Skype or something, but something like that where we could touch lives in different parts of the world through a song.
Are you in touch with other cancer wards around the world? Are you talking? Are they calling you?
I mean, I've heard from just lots of different people in different places, but it really, I think, will be through the connections that Texas Children's has around the world.
Well, I know that you're very open to that, and that you're helping in any way you can. But something else you did was you're sending songs up in space, and what's that about? You're working with astronauts.
Well, one part of our mission is to fly the songs. The project is called Purple Songs Can Fly, and originally the name was just the idea of fly to the spirit and rising above illness. But I had a song that I wrote after September 11th that ended up going on the space shuttle, and that experience of having a song fly, physically fly, was so just exciting that I felt that these songs needed to fly as well. So they have flown on 2 space shuttle missions, and they've flown on Continental Airlines in-flight play. For about 3 years they flew, and now they're going to fly on United.
So when they fly, though, what does that mean? That they take the CD, or they play it in the plane, or they play it in the
on the space shuttle? They took the CD, and it was with the particular astronaut, so they were able to listen to it. On Continental and now on United, they'll be in-flight plays. So if you're flying on a flight that has the songs on their audio station, you'll be able to hear them.
And how do the kids react when they know some famous astronaut or when an airline took their song and people are listening to it? What is their reaction?
Oh, I think it's been really exciting. We were able to have both astronauts come to the Cancer Center and talk about their flight, and we actually have pictures of the CDs floating in the space station. So we have them in the Cancer Center. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Where do you go from here? What's your next step?
I'm going to write some more songs with kids. Yeah.
You will continue planning to do this until?
Yeah, I'm going to keep doing
until you
this.
transition.
Yes.
Forever and ever.
Yes.
What are the 3 most important things that you would like people to remember about the power of music to heal? From what you've learned from your experience. I know you're not the expert in music therapy, but you don't need to be an expert. This is sort of some inner wisdom that you've learned from doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I would say to listen to your own voice, and oftentimes you have to be very still and quiet to find that voice, but everyone has their own inner voice. To listen to it, to trust it, write it down, And if you have some words, sing them.
And you know that anybody's capable of singing. It doesn't matter whether off tune or tone deaf.
Doesn't matter.
You can still create your own song. You can still create a vibration because it's your own vibration and your own lyrics. You've never gotten to the point where somebody was unable to do something, which is the beauty of Purple Songs Can Fly.
Yeah.
When you walk into that studio, you know that you'll come out with something creative.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, how do you know that you are living smart?
I think that's it. For myself, in my own songwriting, if I'm feeling something deeply and I can write a song about it, I know I've taken that and moved it somewhere and seen something new in myself.
And why the purple?
God, I can't get enough purple. I cannot get enough purple.
All right, well, I'm going to have to wear purple after this. Thank you so much for joining us, Anita, for the work that you're doing. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. And to learn more about the healing power of music, go to our website. There you'll find a complete resource list. You can also email us or call us with your comments at 713-743-8513. And that's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to live smart. I'm Patricia Gras. Have a musical week. That purple.
For a transcript of this program, send $6.95 to the address on your screen. Please include the name of the guest.